A couple weeks ago, I was watching YouTube like I usually do, and I had found a video with Saints Row 2 in it. So that's when I had that itch. And despite my best efforts of trying to ignore it, it obviously failed. I played Saints Row 2 again for the 10th time, so that got me thinking, I should really make a video just saying how much I like this game. So I guess why not? Saints Row 2 came out in 2008 and since then has gotten a cult following, me included. But Saints Row as a whole has a pretty divided fandom. Some people say Saints Row 1 to 2 was the peak, some people say 2 was the only good one, some people say 4 is good. That is not important. But you would think for a game that is 15 years old, this game would age terribly. But believe it or not, Saints Row 2 is timeless. The tone of Saints Row 2 is very balanced between comedy and seriousness. Compared to the later games and the games before, I would say this is the perfect middle ground, as Saints Row 1 was serious all around and Saints Row 3 and 4, come on. An example of the tone would be the second saddest death in gaming history next to Dominic Santiago's, Carlos's death at the hands of Mero. Well, technically at the hands of you, but you get it. You feel bad for the boss because you knew how much he cared. So for the next 5 minutes you're like, damn. And then I love this though because it makes moments like these shine brighter. Anyways, I guess since I'm already talking about it, might as well talk about the story picks up years after the events of Saints Row 1. You, the boss, wake up from a coma and some guy named Carlos bails you and him out of jail. Returning to Stillwater, you realize that 2 to 3 weeks you thought you were asleep was actually more like 2 to 3 years. And the Saints are no longer a gang, it's more of a trio, you, Johnny, and Carlos. However, you are the boss, and you're gonna have to carry this shit to take back the city from the 3 rival gangs, the Ronin, the Samdi, and the Brotherhood. So let's talk about the Ronin first. The Ronin are essentially Yakuza, but in America, led by father and son Kazuo and Shogo, Akuji. Shogo leading things in America, Shogo was doing well for a bit. So the boss is like,
recent fugitive and safe lieutenant Johnny Gap.
and suddenly he's losing his cool. Then his dad, the actual leader, is like, business is going bad, gotta go help. The boss, however, has connections. Pierce, this weird guy you just met, and Shaundi has a lot more connections. You learn that Kazuo is coming to America, so what do? Obviously try to kill him. So then the boss is like, from there it's personal, and goes on to kill Junichi, Shogo in the worst way possible, and finally Kazuo. I love the Ronin storyline because of everything, the boss and Kazuo fight, and the Saints Row 1 callback. Everything clicked for the storyline here. Next up, the voodoo masters themselves, the Sons of Samdi. The Sons of Samdi, I'm not gonna lie, is one of the more forgettable gangs in this series. Not saying they're bad, but not a lot happens in this time. In fact, nothing happens to the Saints really, but they are interesting characters. The General, Sunshine, and Veteran Child, the Samdi have a chokehold over the drug business. So, the boss has a light bulb light in his head, and so, like any sane person, robs the Samdi, blows up their fields, and steals their secret recipe. The Samdi was saying, we will deal with it. However, once Veteran Child gets killed, they're like, it's time to get worried. So they kidnap the boss, they get him high, and try to kill him. However, that boss has plot armor like a motherfucker, so this doesn't work. And from there on, it's over. We kill everyone involved with this gang with ease. Like I said, not the most memorable gang, but it's a fun time. Now, not a good time would be the Brotherhood. So the Brotherhood is a bunch of ups and downs. It's basically a slugfest, but this could have all ended peacefully. It actually had a good start too. Mero, the leader of the gang, gives the boss a truce plan. The shipment is coming. Keep this in mind, this will be pretty much important later. So Mero's like 2080. Now the boss, you would probably think, man, this is a cool idea. Let's avoid endless. The boss does some stuff to inconvenience Mero in order to find out details of said shipment. And then the boss does something that would come to bite him in the ass. He puts radioactive stuff in Mero's ink, then this happens. So Mero kidnaps Carlos and we the boss attempt to save him. And then that event I told you about happens. But even under pressure, the boss is a boss. So the boss kidnaps Mero's girl, puts her in the Ultor Arena, and gets back for Carlos. However, too invested in revenge, the boss actually learned nothing about the shipment. So he causes more mayhem. And then Shaundi finds out that Mero is trying to find out when his shipment comes because him and Vogel had some good bargaining. And well, Vogel was like, okay, bet. So the boss steals the entire shipment after a failed attempt to finish Mero. He gets invited by Mero to the Ultor Arena. And while outnumbered, we still get the victory. So after this, we just chill at a bar and celebrate. And psych, Ultra bodyguards try to kill the boss, so we have the endgame enemy. After Hugh's death, the clothing company from Saints Row 1 becomes an empire in years. And Vogel, the leader of said company, has wanted to end gang warfare. Current time, Vogel, seeing an opportunity to end gang warfare once and for all, attempted to end the boss's life. However, after failing, the boss takes it personal again. Obviously, this wouldn't be a Saints Row video if I didn't talk about the selling point activities. You have insurance fraud, escort, brawls, demolition, races, and at first it might suck to have to play these games to progress, but they're actually kind of fun, and to give you a little extra, they give you some of the best rewards ever. All in all, this game is timeless, and since I have played this game a decade ago, it has not aged one bit. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video.